What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cucco Attack Podcast. We are back after a 2-month break because I am lazy and tired all the time. This is episode, what are we on, 31?
31, I checked. This
31. I remember we did the 30th. That's why. So yeah, I'm your host, Chad Hembrock, and with me as always,
Patrick Keys here, and our special cheap friend.
Am I really that special since I've been on quite a few of these already?
I think they're becoming more
Anyway,
regular.
it's me.
It's a me. It's a me.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, we're slowly converting him to a Nintendo fan.
I found out the other day that this guy has never beat a Mario game, he tells me.
That's pretty...
Yeah.
No, because don't you have 6 golden coins on Game Boy?
No.
I
don't even know what that is.
I thought we talked about your Game Boy collection. I thought you sent me pictures and you had Mario 6 golden coins, or Super Mario Land. You had one of them. I could have swore you had. This was like years ago. You sent me a picture of your Game Boy collection.
I actually have my Game Boy collection like close by, but anyway. I don't know. If I did, I don't think I ever beat it.
Yeah. Well, you should. Yeah. That game's amazing if that's the one you have, if I remember. And if you have Mario Land, like the first one, that's like not really a Mario game, but you can knock it out in like 20 minutes. It's such a good game, though. It's so much fun.
Where am I going to find 6 AA batteries?
4, my friend, 4.
4. Well, I have the original Game Boy.
Yeah, 4. It's 4 AA batteries. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
6 was the Game Gear, and that lasted you about 15 minutes.
Oh man, I remember the Game Gear. One of the reasons I love going to my dentist for my braces, because they had Game Gear in the waiting room.
Nice.
Nice dentist. Man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a dentist in like I don't know, there's like Colorado or something. It has like an arcade and a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, that's off topic. This is
why our podcast lasts 2 hours.
But this is good banter. This is what the 3 people listening want. So, today we have some Fantasy Critic updates. We have some games that we've been playing, some E3 news. It's dead. That's the spoiler.
Officially.
Super Mario Brothers movie released and is probably at $1 billion as of tonight. And Tears of the Kingdom previews are out. And
you know what I think this podcast is going to be called? Is probably Nintendo's about to make a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot.
Is making a lot of money and is going to make more.
Yeah. So, let's just get into it then. That's some of the highlights there. But playlist, what we've been playing.
All right.
Oh man.
Let's start with some games multiple of us have been playing, and as me and Chad have been playing what dropped in our last podcast, Metroid Prime Remastered.
Did that drop?
We had to wait 2 weeks for that.
Okay, yeah.
Physical editions.
That's right. So, yeah, now I'm remembering the last podcast. Yeah, I was really happy to finally get back into that game after trying it multiple times and never beating it. And technically still never beat it. But at least I finally played through it. I got all the way to the final battle. And just keep getting wrecked by the Metroids trying to kill the last boss. So I'm sure I can do it. I just need to go back to it. I tried it like 3 times, I think. 3 or 4 times and died. And I just haven't picked it back up since. But I'm sure I can do it eventually. But no, I'm happy I played it. The control scheme is so much better than the GameCube controller.
I can attest to that.
I still love those pointer controls, though.
I do not. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so good.
Oh, whatever, man. That's one of the few like Nintendo things that Chad and I agree on. The GameCube controls for Metroid Prime sucked.
It's so bad.
The Wii controls, though.
It was
awful. Point.
So I did not try the pointer controls. I pretty much played the game handheld exclusive.
The new twin stick controls.
Yeah. I just use like the default dual stick controls. I did use my Pro controller a few times and played on the projector, which was fine. That worked well. My son wanted to watch me play, and he got a little scared at times, but he always said, I want to watch you play Metroid. So I was like, cool. That gives me an excuse to finally play this game. So when my daughter would take a nap, I would just play that and he would watch me. So it was good father-son bonding time. But yeah, it was fun. Like you said, I was really glad to beat it, and it's kind of funny because the last time I did play it on GameCube, I really didn't have too much further to go to get to where I pretty much just had the I guess I did. I had the Phazon Mines. I never made it to the Phazon Mines before, so which is a ton, and like there's so much backtracking in that part because like I hated the distance between saves in that particular level, but
I just didn't like how the Phazon Mines is kind of like
all combat
in the corner. There's a lot of combat, and it's like tucked away. The only like way you can get there is from like Fendora Drifts, and like to get there is like also like out of the way, and it's just so annoying.
Yeah, so that was kind of a pain. Like I wish they would have done. I thought like the game ran fantastic. It looked beautiful. I wish they would have had some sort of quick save quality of life improvement, but like
or some like shortcut like teleportation system like Dread had or
something. Like I don't even know if I think quick saves just would have been nice, so I could just not have to like freak out about like because I lost hours of play a couple times just because I got so into exploring the world and trying to backtrack, and then I would just get like wrecked by something, and I just wasn't expecting it, where I'd like fall in lava. I'm like, oh no, I can't get out, and then because I just try to like be too quick and cheese something, and just like I'm just gonna jump through the lava as fast as I can to get there.
Those are you.
No, that's for me. But at the same time, it's just kind of like because like when you respawn, you have to just go through it. So like I just was sick of doing the same levels just to go back to where I was, because I don't know, just backtracking in. It's kind of like the same reason why I don't like playing like Zelda games in 3D over and over again, because I just don't like the 3D. I don't like 3D traversal. Like I don't know, it doesn't, especially over and over again, and it just doesn't do it for me. Like 2D, I have this like I think it's like my mind can map out like 2D maps and grid-based stuff a lot easier than 3D environments. So I find myself getting lost even though I've played it like so many times. I'm like, which way do I go? Oh no, it's that way, and I gotta like cut back and go through. So, but
I feel like 3D Metroid makes it a little more interesting though, backtracking, because like once you get the double jump, it's a little more actually impactful for like shortcuts. Whereas 2D Metroid, you still have to go up those tall elevators, and this is a little more annoying in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that for sure. Double jump was awesome, definitely. Getting that, but and then once you get the suit where you can go underwater and swim and stuff, that like completely changes the game at that point. But I don't know, I was very happy with the remake. Thought it was awesome. I'm basically considering it beat, but I still do need to finally beat the final boss. But I went ahead.
You can't mark it off on your list. No,
I can't mark it off on my list. But I did go ahead and just watch the ending, and I was like, all right, I was like 4 hits away from beating the boss. I'm sure I can do it. I just need to do it. So, but super happy with it. I would love to see more GameCube games that I didn't really play come to Switch. That way, it's just more convenient.
Yeah. I'm curious if they'll bring over the other Prime games or if they'll just jump to 4.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess it'll depend on what Metroid Prime 4 news we get. Because if like nothing drops, or they say like, please be patient, blah blah blah, here's Metroid Prime 2. It's already ready.
They were like, it was just weird like how Metroid Prime Shadow dropped, and a month later Metroid Fusion came out, and they were like, Metroid, and now all of a sudden it's just quiet again.
Yeah. So well, I don't know, we'll see. But lot of fun. Enjoyed it a lot. Wish I was. That's pretty much the only big game that I've been playing. Other than that, I've been working on a new arcade machine since the last podcast. I don't know if I had it yet. Maybe I did. But I got a Killer Instinct arcade cabinet that I've been...
You thought it was going to be a Mortal Kombat at
Yeah,
first.
it was supposed to be... It was sold to me as a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet, but it was painted black, and it had a gun game in it. And I was like, alright, cool, I'll get that, and then I'll make it my multi-fighter. And then when I started stripping the artwork off, or stripping the black paint off, it was a Killer Instinct. Well, it had a Killer Instinct serial tag on the back of it when I actually got it, so... kind of a cool surprise as a Nintendo fan, just because it is, you know, a Nintendo published game and everything. But the game is like... I do not like Killer Instinct as much as I thought I did. I loved it as a kid. I thought it was so cool. And then going back to it now and playing it, it's like, this game kind of sucks. Like I'm not a huge fighter fan, but like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter hold up way better than Killer Instinct. But I'm happy with the cabinet. Got it all stripped off. It looks beautiful. There was 2 holes I filled, waiting for the artwork. Should be here this week. Bought new joysticks, did all that stuff. So just the artwork for the front panel to cover up some holes that were drilled into the front of it for the guns that used to be on it. But overall, happy. Not using a real board because a real board for Killer Instinct's like $800.
God.
And yeah, no interest in that. So I'm using a PC that I built back in like 2005 that I had laying in a box. So I just bolted that to the inside of the cabinet, bought an adapter, wired it up to everything, and it's working. So it's cool. Happy with that. That's been my big thing. I guess I can add to my list of games I beat again. I was testing Metal Slug the other day, Metal Slug X, which I beat with my son a few times this year already. But testing it on the new cabinet, and it ran beautifully. And the new joysticks were so smooth, so what turned into a quick play test turned into me beating the game. So, but other than that, yeah, nothing really. I did play some 6 golden coins on the Nintendo Switch Online app. I think I beat like 2 or 3 of those worlds. Played a little bit of Tetris, and I always thought I liked the Game Boy Tetris the best, but I think I like Tetris 99 the best.
Interesting.
I think I like even the solo single player. Like, I just like the mechanics of Tetris 99, like the controls and being able to like see all the blocks coming and save a block, and I don't know. I like that, having that kind of like block reserved to the side and being able to, you know.
Oh.
Different
Speaking of
strategy.
Tetris, have any of you guys seen the Tetris movie yet?
I have not. I heard it's bonkers though. Have you seen it?
I did. Yeah.
I was gonna.
Cool.
I was gonna say this week is a night that we could all hang out this Friday.
I'd watch it again if you wanted to. It was fun.
There's also the pinball movie is supposed to be really good too, that everyone keeps talking about.
I hadn't heard about that one.
It's about like the whole fight of keeping pinball, like making it legal again after the whole, like pinball got banned back in the day for like being considered gambling. Because, well, kind of was if you think about it, because it didn't used to have flippers, so it was a complete game of chance.
Oh wow.
So yeah, then they started adding flippers to it, and then it kind of became a thing to like, dude was like playing pinball in, I think like the story is like he played pinball in court to like prove that it's skill, so he could like say, I'm gonna hit that, and he would make the shot and stuff like that. But yeah, the story is supposed to be really cool, and everyone says the movie's fantastic that just came out. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just say there's a lot of cool like video game and adaptations coming out lately, and stories and stuff.
Yeah. I've been like really interested in like I don't know like documentary style movies recently. Like the Elvis movie last year was actually really cool, and then Treacherous, and just those have been like just hearing the stories behind these like larger than life things has been really fascinating.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like gaming documentaries in general, so these seem a little more like higher budget than what I'm used to. But yeah, I've been interested. It's just again finding the time to actually do it and sit down and watch it. So, but we'll see. All right, what have you been playing?
Oh, yeah. I forgot we were talking about games.
We're jumping around a bit. It's all good.
So yeah. I guess on the topic of like NSO, Game Boy Advance games, I did try a bunch of them out. I'll just highlight two of them that were interesting to me that I hadn't played before. One was that Kururin, or however you pronounce that game with like the spinning stick that's like always rotating.
Yeah, that looked fun. I wanted to try it.
Yeah. Apparently that was Japan only before, so that was cool to see that on there. And
was it localized, or was it in Japanese, or was it localized?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was localized.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like an arcadey game, so there's not really much.
Maybe it was European as well, though, because I feel like there was people on like Facebook and stuff talking about how awesome it was, and like they grew up with it. It just seemed kind of odd, like, you know, unless you like grew up in Japan.
And it's like such a simple concept. It's just like your ship is constantly rotating. You can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of have to just like go with the flow of the stage and occasionally hit springs to have it rotate the other way. And it's just like little obstacle courses, but it was
cool.
Pretty fun. Yeah, not too long of a game, so that was cool. And then I played Wario Land 3, which I've never played that specific entry before.
Wario Land 3. I was thinking Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land, which that one's awesome. I love that game too.
Yeah, I haven't played that either, so I hope that they add that to...
Yeah. Oh, you haven't played that one? That's a good one. I have it if you want to borrow it.
Cool.
That's a good one. I have
it. The only Wario game I'd played before that was the
Virtual
Wario
Boy.
Land 4, the Game Boy Advance. Yeah.
Okay, I had that too as a kid. I think I still have a copy of it. I think.
But
I don't know.
yeah, no, Wario Land 3 was pretty cool. I was surprised at how like almost Metroidvania it was, because you have to like keep revisiting levels with like new abilities that you find in other levels, and trying to find all these treasures and stuff.
Yeah.
They even had like a day and night system, so like if you go in the level and like exit, it then turns to night, and you can go back in, and like stuff is different. And
Oh, that's cool. I don't remember that one. I know I played the first two, and then of course the Virtual Boy one, which is amazing. Love it. I wish they'd put those games on. Just do them in black and white and throw them on Switch, or just redo them in color. Or
I'm still baffled they never did that for 3DS. It would have been perfect.
It's a complete missed opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done for like the last hurrah on the 3DS, was just re-release the entire Virtual Boy collection. Here's the 14 US released Virtual Boy games. Just drop them. I think it was like 21 or something like that, 23, but still. That would have been cool.
Yeah. And then what else have I played? Ooh, one game which we kind of mentioned in our last podcast, but I could not run it yet on my computer, which I got a new graphics card so I could run it, and then I had to wait a little bit because it didn't work, and they had to like update the game, and then eventually it did work, and I was so happy. And it was Hi-Fi Rush.
Such a saga to get that game running for you.
It was. But I gotta say, out of all the games I've played so far in 2023, this is probably my favorite so far.
Until 2 weeks from now.
In about 2 weeks, and that opinion might change, but... Now, Hi-Fi Rush was so much fun. I cannot recommend it enough if you like music games, and even if you aren't the best at music games, I think it's really smart in how it's designed, because like everything is synced to the music. Like your character's footsteps go to every beat. Even if you attack an enemy and you're not on beat, it will attack to the beat, and that helps you get on beat, because then you're like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to be hitting, and it just feels so good to like be in sync, and just the animation and humor, it was so much fun. I just love that game from start to finish. So
You got that on Game Pass, right?
yeah, I tried out Game Pass. So yeah, which I'll have to think about at some point down the road, how to support those developers, because they definitely deserve it. So
Yeah, we'll see how that model keeps going in the future.
yeah. But and then the last game I'll mention, this was before the Tears of the Kingdom final trailer, but I just wasn't feeling the hype for it yet, and so I got the itch and needed to do something to hype myself up. I loaded Breath of the Wild, started playing through the Great Plateau, and then I couldn't stop. And ended up playing like the entire game, every Sheikah Tower, every Divine Beast, all 120 shrines, the DLC, just all the Zelda memories.
It's amazing.
And man, yeah, the game holds up. Like, the gameplay loop is as addicting and satisfying as ever.
Nice.
And yeah, I'd forgotten so many little things, like how if you're not wearing armor as Link and he's like shirtless and he just starts flexing as his idle pose, and like, why are you doing that? Just or how like the first time you get a horse and you're like going down the road and then it just starts steering you off in the other direction. Okay, no, come this way. We haven't built up a relationship yet. But
It's funny. I should play it again before. I should just load it up and just do a couple battles just to get used to like combat again, because I don't remember how it
I'm
felt.
just warning you, it's addicting. So
I remember jumping into the DLC and I was like, oh man, I do not remember how to fight in this game. Like, I forgot how to like pull my bow out. I forgot how to like change like between weapons. Like,
Yeah.
I was completely lost.
there are definitely a few buttons I had to remember, but surprisingly I still had the muscle memory. So
Yeah. I guess when you play something for like 200 hours, it kind of comes back to you pretty quick.
yeah.
So.
But yeah, that will do it for all the games I've been playing. Take it away, Satish. What has you been?
Sure. So let's see. I've only really been playing 3 games. Well, the new Lightfall DLC came out on Destiny in February, so I've been playing that.
That's right.
Yeah. And I started. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me think about this chronologically here. All right. So
I tried to write down what I thought you were playing, but I forgot
All
about Destiny.
so
It's like the
Start
only
off.
game he does play.
I finished God of War, the first one.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
Everybody knows. I mean, it's what? It's from 2018, so there's been plenty of time. Chad, you played you played the new one, right?
I played them back to back.
Yeah.
That's how you played.
Yeah.
I played like 60 hours of that game, like straight.
Which is probably how long Satish played just this one. So.
What? Yeah.
Oh, just God of War 2018.
Oh, 2018. I don't know. I think I may have put in like 80 something hours into it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Jeez.
exactly sure. And then after that, I beat Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So good. I love that series so much.
It looked fun. I wanted to check it out. I was hoping it'd be free one day on PS Plus.
It might eventually be. I know the
I had it on my
re-
Amazon list for a bit. 'cause I
Right,
was-
the remake of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
The first game is free. It's part of the PS5 like launch games.
Yeah, make sure you claim all those because they're gonna
yeah.
go away in May. If you
Yeah.
haven't claimed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a general like announcement. Yeah.
PSA to all of
Yeah.
the
to-
3 listeners here, please.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the company's free games. Don't let them go to waste.
Yeah.
They're not
If
doing
you don't
any
have
favors.
space, just claim them at least, and then you got it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rift Apart was great. It was continued with the storyline of Ratchet and Clank, which you wouldn't really think that there would be an overarching Ratchet storyline through those games, considering how kind of wacky they are. But there is. It's always Ratchet looking for himself, and Clank helping him out and stuff.
This is part of like a new storyline though, since they kind of like
Not really.
rebooted it.
No, there's no
Or
reboot.
is it all canon now?
It's all canon.
Okay, that's news to me.
Yeah.
Because I could have swore it's just like a reboot or something, but maybe it's timeline shenanigans or something.
No.
Oh, now I'm confused. Okay, but carry on.
But yeah, so that was great. It was considered one of the launch titles of the PlayStation, and you could see why. It ran super smooth. I never had any hiccups or any stutters on it. I love games like that just because of how like colorful and dynamic the worlds are.
But you won't play a Mario game.
No. And how can you not love the wacky, crazy weaponry that you have in Ratchet and Clank? It's just bonkers. But the weird thing is that like everything works. Like it's obviously been well designed and play tested, because like you use these weapons in combinations with each other to take out enemies, and it just works. You would think that a gun that would launch a sprinkler, that would spray water, and that would like turn your enemies into topiaries would be stupid. But no, it provides a strategic advantage. Yeah. Let's see. And then after Ratchet and Clank, I started playing, which I am still playing right now, is Ghost of Tsushima, which, yeah, such a good game by Insomniac.
I watched Patrick play that a little bit. He really liked it.
Yeah.
Great. I love that game.
Speaking of Insomniac, one of the weapons in Ratchet and Clank was this rift gun, and every time you shoot it, like it'll open a rift in the sky, and stuff will just drop down. And there were so many Easter eggs, like freaking Thunderjaw from Horizon would fall down and like pummel enemies, or like Sly Cooper would drop, or like the plane and the Jeep from Uncharted.
I don't know. That kind of just looked like a plane to me.
It was a plane. Leave me alone. But like yeah, and Ghost of Tsushima, Insomniac. God, they just make such good games. I really wish they would make a new Sly Cooper game, because I think both of you would just love it.
I've
The humor.
wanted to try. I just never have.
Yeah, I remember seeing like all those games, because like when PS2 was out, I worked at a electronics store and we sold PS2 games and stuff, and so like Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, all that stuff I remember, but I never picked them up for whatever reason. Like then I was more like, oh, GTA, I gotta get GTA 3 and GTA Vice City and Zelda, and like it was all like that's the stuff I cared about. And like Xbox, like that was when I bought my GameCube, I bought my Xbox. I did have a PS2 already, but I was just kind of like, I was into like all the Tony Hawk games and just different. I was in a completely different mindset of like gaming, because I was skateboarding almost every single day. So when I did play video games, I was playing skateboarding video games, and yeah, I kind of missed out on a whole generation of games in that era, except for Wind Waker. That was like the one that I like, bought GameCube for. But
yeah. I think you both like Sly Cooper. It's just like puzzle platforming kind of game with just wacky sense of humor.
I think
A little bit more stealth too, since you're like,
yes, and it is stealth focused as well, because you are Sly. You are the what was the slogan?
Careful.
Why?
Not that I'm just being stupid.
Logan? I don't know.
Anyway,
Thief
yeah,
in
you are
time?
a thief.
Yeah.
There it is. Devious Raccoonus. Yeah.
I can't help, as bad as it is, I can't help but when I see like the box art for that, think of Cartman in South Park when he's a superhero. And that's really bad. That's why I said careful. Because that's South Park's hilarious. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, Ghost of Tsushima's great. It's oddly easy, as I was telling Patrick today.
Yeah, I was reading your chat.
Yeah, it's odd. It's so weird because it's very much more. To me, it feels much more like an exploration game than like gameplay kind of game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think part of the difficulty could be, or like lack of difficulty could be just that it's a little more open-ended. There's like so many ways you can approach a situation.
Right, but like more open, like.
Yeah.
So like I started Ghost of Tsushima after like Horizon, and that was difficult. The enemies and whatnot. You had to approach them differently, and it's just like, and I downloaded Burning Shores, the DLC for Horizon, and I found it difficult. But then again, I think maybe it's because I was more in the Ghost of Tsushima mindset. But yeah, I was playing today and I was like, wow, these battles and whatnot, they're kind of easy, but like you're there more for like the atmosphere and the environment of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's only so much you can do with samurai and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, you don't want to over exaggerate.
Exactly. Like there were times when I was like, it'll be kind of cool if I could just like jump off this cliff and I had like some sort of hang glider or something. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, dude, this is set up in like the 1600 or I don't even know what year it is. But yeah, so it makes total sense.
You know what game
anyway.
you can jump off of cliffs and
Shut
use
up.
hang
No.
Well, we talk about it later.
And anyway, I spent way too much time on Ghost of Tsushima. And the other game I started playing was out of surprise. I just happened to just like catch some YouTuber, playing it, and it just like spoke to me. It's called Wall World. Yeah, it's a roguelite. You're just in like this spider tank, and it's like wave defense sort of, but also like mining and upgrading. Yeah, it's simple and hard, but for some reason it just speaks to me, and maybe one of these days I might actually show Patrick what it's like.
We were online together, and I just hear just talking, playing the game. He's never gonna share his screen with me though.
Yeah. He doesn't want you to see.
And I think that's it for all the games that I'm playing and have played so far this year.
Cool.
Nice.
Didn't you beat Fallen Order this year, or did you already talk about that?
Pretty sure we talked about that last
Oh, okay.
podcast. But if not, yeah, it was cool. Star Wars is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Wars reviews coming out
Ah,
today.
yes, here we go.
Boom.
Transitioning.
Good segue.
Take it away,
Yeah.
Patrick. Let's get these fantasy updates.
It's time for our fantasy updates. First, let's talk about the games we picked up since our last podcast, because we've been dropping games. So starting with Bandai Danko, you picked up System Shock.
System Shock. Yeah, I know nothing about that game, the original or the remake. Just
I wanted that game.
just
I had
looked
that
at
on my radar. I was intrigued by that.
I was looking at kind of reviews of the old one, and saw there was a remake. Was looking at like most anticipated lists, and it kind of stood out as the previews people seem to really like. So figured
System
it was.
Shock is a bit of a historic game.
I've never heard of it. I've honestly never heard of it. After all the games that I've knew about over the years, never heard of that game. Or if I have, I completely forgot about it.
Like I've heard of it, but I just know nothing about it.
Yeah.
I think it's like one of the first FPS RPG kind of games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
I don't know. I picked it up. I think I got it for like $1, maybe $2.
Yep.
Solid
pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our wild card, Yasaki, picked up another Atelier game. I didn't know they were making another one of those, so snuck that in. Probably gonna be pretty good because I think the other one reviewed well, which we'll talk about. And also Armored Core 6, which is interesting and fitting for the wild card, because I don't know if that will release this year or not. But
yeah, I had it on the. I was kind of looking at it, but it doesn't look like the other ones reviewed too high, so I didn't want to take the risk, even though that's the FromSoft game, right? That's coming out.
It is FromSoft, which is probably why people are crossing their fingers it's going to be good.
Yeah, so
just on their recent streak. But
yeah, I had it on my. I was looking at it, but it was also, I think, like one of the highest hype games still on the list at the time. But that was kind of like, I don't know, and it seemed kind of ambitious for like a release this year when they just did Elden Ring. So I was kind of like
doing the Elden Ring DLC, I think.
Yeah, so I didn't want to jump on that, but we'll see. He's not here to defend himself on his picks, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting. We're definitely losing some games having an extra player in this year, and it's definitely made it a little harder. I feel like we've kind of rushed to fill our teams up. I think everyone has like.
I was just gonna say that's caused me to want to jump a little more. So.
Yeah, so go ahead with what you got.
So I've almost filled up my team with one slot left, probably two, because honestly, my first pickup is Metroid Prime 4. That's a bit of a, I don't know if that's gonna drop or not, but if it does,
do you even have money left to drop it for hype?
It's actually not too high in hype. It's only like 17.
But you only have like $30, don't you, or something like that?
52. He's got
50. Yeah.
Okay.
Got a little change here.
Okay.
Probably can't outbid you guys if something big drops, but
I have like $96 or something.
Yeah,
94. Yeah. I'm the cheap one this year.
I can't believe that I'm not in the lead with the money. It's surprising. Then again, I did like.
You dropped an unusually high amount for year one pickup, which we'll get to. You really dropped $17. Like, really?
I don't even remember what I picked up for $17.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
My other game, Lies of P, which is a Souls-like game that everyone's kind of got their eyes on. It seems kind of a coin flip, but I'm banking on Souls good. I don't know. I was just scared someone else was going to get it and miss out. But I'm kind of locked into that now because that's got a high hype. I can't afford to drop it.
There you go.
Rift of the Negro Dancer, which was a recent announced or showcased game. Just looks cool. And that does developers. And SteamWorld Build, which I looked at the SteamWorld series. Those games have reviewed consistently well. And this next one seems just interesting, so I was like, yeah, I'll add you to the team.
Yeah,
and it has a release date now, like for summer, so I'm like, good.
I have the first two SteamWorld big games, and I never played them. I got them on Switch for like, I think they were on sale for like $5, so I grabbed them.
They go on sale
and I just never got around to playing it.
They're fun. They're cool games. At least the big ones. I haven't really tried their spin-offs. But those get reviewed well too. But yeah. And then Bananaware, your one game that you dropped $16 or $17 for. which surprised me because you're always like the $1 man. But
Which is what cost you a season before.
but goodbye Volcano High. I don't think that was on anyone's radar.
Yeah. That game I've had
It's
my
yours.
eye on. Not specifically to play, but been more like, this is gonna probably review oddly well.
I've never heard of
Anyway,
It's the game with like what furry dinos or something.
or just dinos.
Yeah.
it. Okay.
But
Yeah,
those
going-
are yeah.
Continuing on with my
Oh, you're
Yeah.
emotionally invested category of games. You're trying to fill your team.
Are you filling this hoping that you're going to get good reviews because
Yep.
furry lovers are going to...
no other
People
for-
can't
uh,
review it badly because they
Yeah.
can't say bad things.
exactly.
Okay, I gotcha.
I see his angle. Yeah.
That's
We'll
funny.
see how that keeps playing. I
I mean, it sorta
I don't
worked.
think season did as well as you hoped.
No, it did not. No, season was a letdown.
Yeah, that game still looks beautiful. I still want to try it at some point. But so of the games that have recently released, we can just do a quick breakdown of review scores. Horizon Call of the Mountain got a 80.1. Pretty good. I think that was it yours, Chad?
Yes.
The VR?
Yes, I had that.
I see it as 79.2.
Oh, well, that might have changed since I last wrote this down, but around 80.
I think it still
70.
rounds
Correct.
up to like an 80 or something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. It's kind of disappointed with that. A little lower.
I wrote this last night. Yeah.
Little lower than I thought it was going to be, but...
Company of Heroes 3 got a 79.7 or around there. Octopath Traveler 2, 85.3. That was a very solid pickup from Sadish. Wolong Fallen Dynasty got an 80.8. I'll take it. Although, as you'll see, my can't seem to break that 81 stratosphere. It's annoying the heck out of me. We have Bayonetta Origins, got an 80.9, which is it was better than what I thought that game would get. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. Next we had Takia, or Kia, Chia, yeah.
Chia.
Got a 77.5, which is okay. I was hoping for better, but I guess it didn't hurt Chad too bad because that was his counter pick.
That was
against
my
me.
counter pick, so...
So only 7.5 points against you Blues.
Yeah, except for when
Could be worse.
Street Fighter 6 comes out and destroys me.
Well, we'll see.
This right here is the biggest upset to me. Like, storyteller getting negative points here, 69.5. I'm like, how dare that game just looks like a charming, fun puzzle game. It can't be that bad. That's wrong.
2 points better than Forspoken.
Yeah, like,
He's
That's how I
way
look
it's
at
gonna-
it.
Oh, way better than Forspoken, I'm sure.
Which means that I really wanted to drop more points. That way, if I do come in last, I don't have to play Forspoken. I still need to play frickin' Valkyrie Elysium.
You do. At least one more hour.
Yeah, yeah. Brody creased the case. I was so upset by it. He took the sleeve out and like crumpled it, and I was like, no,
Why did he do that?
because he found it on the ground and started playing with it. And he just like creased it, and I was like, ah. So I had to fold it back out. It's like the first game of mine that he's just like ruined. Not ruined, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Next, I think this is our
Resident
best
Evil.
reviewed game of the year so far.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 Remake with a 92.1.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, good on Stadish for that.
I was gonna
Yeah.
grab it. It was on my
I
it was on
wanted
my
it to-
list right
I
away.
wanted it. And then Atelier Riza 3, which was also kind of on my low-key radar until Wildcard. I think he picked it up or drafted it and just, what? Wildcard.
Yeah.
82.7, so I did fairly well. Craft 81 Stratosphere that I'm trying to break. Error nil, 81.5. Fine, still 81. Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. This is also an upset, 81.3.
Finally released after like a 1.5 delay.
I know. I wonder if that like affected anyone's mindset, or I don't know. With these
Maybe.
reviews.
It's possible.
Like,
Because I feel like the
forgotten
hype was pretty low for it. Like, before it came out, everyone was hyped, and then, like, after that, people were just kind of like, come on, where's
it's
it
kind of
at?
wild how they released it right now. Like, Mario movie came out, then Advanced Wars, and then they're like, Xenoblade 3 Chronicles. Advanced Wars had, like, a 1-week window of attention, and they're like, next.
Yeah, I think they just got to the point where they're like, we gotta release this regardless of the war.
Yeah.
Like, they should have just released it, honestly. Like, I don't know. Like, do you think if Call of Duty would have made a game that was, like, literally about, like, Russian versus Ukraine, they would have launched that thing week of, regardless of world events.
They love controversy. They're such a weird company.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like, I get it. They're trying to be sensitive about the situation, but at the same time, it's like, it's a cartoon simulation of, like, kids playing war.
Like literally some of the characters in that game look like kids.
Yeah.
As commanders.
It's kind of crazy, but Nintendo's gonna Nintendo.
Yeah. And then our last game that was most recently released as of, I guess technically tomorrow, but
it comes out Friday.
Or Friday.
Yeah, it comes out.
It's getting reviews.
2 days. Yeah.
And that is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is our third best game so far released this year at 86.3.
Boom, 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 boom.
So
Banana Dai Donko.
it's definitely a battle between these two here. They're hitting it high right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm really curious to see what Zelda's gonna do, because
Zelda.
Zelda's
score so big.
It's definitely gonna get over a 90.
I hope. I don't know, man. You never know with these reviewers. Like, I don't know. I could see it being... I guess the only thing that's kind of scary about it is, like, that it is, like, there's so much of, like, Breath of the Wild there still. That, I don't know. I could see it kind of being like...
I
don't care personally. It's just the reviewers. That's what I'm worried about.
No, I get that. I've never understood that about reviewers and other people. When there's like a sequel to a game and they're like, oh, but it's more of the same. I'm like, it's a sequel. It's not a brand new game.
Last year was the year of more of the same. How many games did I have that said more of the same in the review title? It was like 6 of them.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, they're great games, but it's just more of the same. It's like, so give it a good review.
It's really weird when they choose to focus on that and like ignore it in other games, like
Bayonetta 3,
or like Miles Morales. They love that. It's the exact same.
It's the exact same game. Yeah, it's the exact same game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of crazy.
Like, I mean, Breath of the Wild got a 96.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if it meets that, then Chad could be getting 32 biggins.
Biggins. Chad likes biggins.
30 to 40 points there for Chad.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna get 100, but
no.
It'll definitely he'll definitely get, I think, 30, minimum 30 points.
Yeah, so. We'll see when it happens.
Yeah. I guess real quick, I should just tell what our actual like standings are. I should mention. So, I guess from 4th to 1st place, as it stands right now. 4th place we have Misaki, the wild card, with 31.92 points. Chad is sitting at 38.08 points in 3rd place, but that's about to jump with Jedi. So, I'm in 2nd right now, Capcom, with 54.69 points. And I'm standing high up top in 1st place right now is Bananaware with 96.22. He's almost like released all his games, so
yeah,
it's like double us in points.
It's the same thing. I start off strong, but I never like did well.
This is our third year, and you won the first one.
Yeah.
Even the first one was like that.
Yeah, but you
Was it?
never like faltered, other than your like.
You're pretty strong that first year, just like consistently.
That came down pretty close for you guys, though.
Yeah.
It's because you bid $1 on Horizon, on Forza. Forza Horizon.
I'm
or
checking
whatever.
2021. There was an 8-point difference between us. That's,
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah,
It was literally like because like a game didn't come out or something. Yeah.
came down to our betting special pretty much.
Yeah.
And segue to our betting special.
Yeah, we should stay tuned
Oh, man,
for that
we're
in the next.
We're
in
a
the
roll with
next
this.
month. I'm working on drafting up the questions, getting the percentages, but we will probably record that and get our wildcard McNulty on here.
Yeah.
Still debating on what the reward should be or if it should stay the same, but yeah.
But it'll be segueing to the next thing. It'll be based on Summer Game Fest instead of E3 because E3 is
Yeah.
dead.
It's officially dead. I think last podcast we said it was dead because
Because
the
Nintendo and
big
Microsoft
three pulled
and-
out. Yeah.
and then
But
even
now
like
it's officially dead.
like
Because
Ubisoft, everyone just pulled out. So
Sega, just everyone. It was like a domino effect. After one person did it, it's just like.
yeah, so not much to say about that. It's kind of expected at this point. But Summer Game Fest like immediately was like, "We'll be here for the summer," like on Twitter and then you were saying that like Sony's gonna do something next month or something like that.
I think it's still just rumored, but
Okay.
it sounds like they're gonna have their big showcase near the end of May. So
Okay. Well, I mean, it would be typically it's like the beginning of June, so
yeah, I think we may have to be flexible with that time frame or extend it just a little bit if that's
Yeah.
the case.
we'll just have to get our bets in early.
Yeah. So we might be doing that soonish. We'll see.
Cool. All right. Well, should we get into the spoiler cast?
Not that there's much to spoil, but yeah.
Super Mario Brothers movie. I saw it. Patrick saw it. Sidish tried to see it.
I saw the first 30 minutes of it.
Until the fire alarms made him leave the theater, and he was not able to get back in. So, I took the boy to go see it, and he loved it. I mean, he got scared a few times with Bowser, but
I won't lie, that Shy Guys and Dry Bones scene was actually pretty scary.
that's when he got a little. He started getting scary more towards the end when Bowser was like kind of getting angry and just kind of like there was lava and fire everywhere. That's when he is kind of getting a little like scared. But just like before, like we can talk about it more. But like, just I think seeing his reaction at the very end for the the spoiler of when Mario and Luigi beat Bowser. Imagine that.
God.
He lost it. He jumped up. He was like, "Yes! Ha! Take that! Yeah!" He was all into it, like yelling at the screen, and like the little girl next to me in the row was like, "Yeah!" And seeing the kids like getting so excited that Mario and Luigi beat up Bowser was like that was worth going because it was just funny. Like I don't know, he loved that part, and then even like seeing the like the end credit scene for the sequel. Brody was like super excited. He's like, "I want to stay. I want to watch it. Can we watch it? Can we watch it now?" And I was like, "It's not out yet, buddy. We gotta wait. So, but overall for me, I enjoyed it, but I wish I never saw any of the trailers. That was like my biggest thing. Was that like
did they do the whole thing where the trailers basically ruined all like the best parts?
the trailer ruined pretty much all of the stuff that I was excited to see and hoping they would show more. Just basically like they should have like never shown the like Mario Kart scene. Like if they would have never shown that, I think it would have been like I would have just been like beside myself in the movie probably. I just would have, just because it was like when I first saw that trailer, I got super excited. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so neat, because I was not expecting Mario Kart to be in the movie.
That would have been really hard to hide with like toys and marketing though.
Yeah, I get that.
And,
but it's just like one of those things, like, I don't know, I was expecting so much more from it, but literally, like, the trailer pretty much showed the movie from start to finish.
It was really weird, like, how the movie started was, like, literally the first trailer, like, scene for scene. Just this is the start of the movie. Okay.
Yeah, that very first trailer they showed where Bowser's ship goes into, to the penguins or whatever, and that was the whole first trailer and first scene of the movie. So, I felt like the transitions between scenes were very rushed. And it was very just like, and now here's Luigi, and now here's back to them, and there was no like smooth transition from one scene to the next. So that was, again, like I was watching it, I was like, this just feels weird, but like
I think it may have been because this was probably definitely more geared toward children.
For sure. And
I don't think children really care. They'd rather it get to the next part quick instead of there being like a minute transition or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, it's fine, but like that was my big thing. Like I pretty much, like, my favorite parts of like the movie were like the beginning, like when you meet Mario and Luigi. Because most of that was like what you didn't see in the trailer, like the whole Brooklyn scene. Like you didn't really see any of that other than like the Mario Brothers commercial, like, and then like, so I really enjoyed that. Like platforming through Brooklyn was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
With like the Beastie Boys, like No Sleep Till Brooklyn playing. I was like, that was cool. that was fitting for the music, other than like some of the other stuff people are upset about.
It's just a little weird throughout the movie. I don't know.
But like that was fitting for that scene because it's Brooklyn, whatever they're doing it. That's like, it was just fitting to me, especially being like an '80s song too. It like it kind of fits with like the motif of Mario Brothers. But
it makes me a little anxious. Like if they make a Zelda movie, I don't want pop music in a Zelda music. Like I don't
think you'd have pop music in a Zelda movie just because of the fantasy element of Zelda.
Yeah, that's true.
Mario's a freaking plumber from New York. Of course, it's gonna have like, more. What's the word? But like more, in our world kind of stuff.
I think the one that threw everybody off, and I completely agree with, was that they played "Take on Me" during the Mario Kart scene, and it was like,
oh, did they?
Yes. "Take on Me" of like all things, and it like, hey, I love "Take on Me." Real Big Fish, "Take on Me," I love it. That's one of my like favorite like punk ska like covers, but like. It just
Wait, so this wasn't the original Take on Me?
It was the Aha Take on Me.
Ah, excellent. Oh,
yes.
That's sort of a spoiler for me. I would have enjoyed that a lot.
But it was just so random. It was so random. Like, but then like, the other song people are upset about, I think makes sense, and this is another spoiler for City Shall Love, is that they did a montage to "I Need a Hero."
What? You cut out.
Oh, I Need a Hero.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess my mic didn't pick up my singing.
The only one I know about is something about peaches.
Yeah. So yes.
I haven't watched it or anything.
At least that was like original. I don't know. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. I think Jack Black's a little overrated, personally. So
you're overrated. This podcast is overrated.
So the Peaches song, it's not as great as everyone's making it out to be. Like, I don't know, it's fine for what it is, but like it's Tenacious D. It's Jack Black. It is what it is. It's just him going Peaches, 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 while playing the piano and screaming about his love for Princess Peach and calling her Peaches.
And it's an earworm.
I don't know. Everyone said that, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I never want to hear that again. So I don't know. Like I'm not like I like Jack Black in certain things, but he's not like my favorite. Like I don't know. Even everything I watch him in, I feel like And again, that's fine if you like him, whatever. But like, it's just my personal opinion. I feel like he's funny, but then he like tries too hard to be the funniest person. Like, I don't know. It just kind of like it's just what it is. Yeah. To me personally, he like overdoes it. But he seems like a cool dude. Like, I've seen like, you know, videos and interviews of him and stuff, and he seems like a good dude. But like, yeah, it's just not my style of like. It's too much for me. Like, I'm like, okay, that was funny. Now stop. But he just keeps going. It's like, So, but he was fine as Bowser. I thought he was a good Bowser. It's just, I don't care for like the traditional Jack Black like music stuff. Like, I don't know. I could have done without that. But
it gave me vibes of like the old Mario comics I used to read, like Nintendo Power and stuff, and just like how ridiculous it was, like Bowser chasing after Peach and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I did like the piano scene in the sense of like, you know, he's playing like the music, like the underground music and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Like cool little Easter eggs like that, and I spent most of the movie watching for like references. Like, because at that point, once I realized that I'd like, okay, I've already seen this movie in the trailers, I literally just started looking at the background, like, the whole time. Because I was like, you know, what cool thing am I gonna miss here? Like, what are they referencing in the background? Especially, like, when they were in Brooklyn, I was trying to look at all the signs and see what they were, you know, referencing. And the posters in Mario's bedroom and all that stuff. So, but I mean, the movie was fine. I had no like issues with it. It was fun. But yeah, that was my biggest thing. It's just not. I just wish I never saw the trailer. Just wish I never saw the trailers. And I think when they make the second one, because I think as of like yesterday, the movie was at like $900 million worldwide, and it just released in Japan like today. So
yeah, the success of this movie makes me happy only that there's guaranteed to be more.
Yeah.
Sooner than later. So. Yeah.
So when the next one comes out, like, I might make an effort to like avoid the trailers. I really might, just because of this last one.
I'm hoping if they make more, which they will, they just give it a little more room to breathe. I don't know. Like, yeah. Let the characters like actually think and make decisions rather than just say, we gotta do this. Okay, we're doing this now. Okay, here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like the one time I like really chuckled was just stupid was because they did the close up of Donkey Kong's mouth and it did the Seth Rogen laugh. And I was kind of expecting that the whole time, but then they did it, and then I would just like, ha! To myself in the theater, like out loud, like, and I like remember even saying like, that's so stupid, like out loud, like, just because I just started like giggling to myself because it showed like it was just a complete close up on his mouth, and it's like, ha ha. That was good.
Yeah.
But it was still fun, and like I said, like watching Brody like enjoy it as much as he did, especially for his first movie experience in IMAX was cool. It was definitely cool.
Yeah, it was definitely just like a beautiful movie just to watch and see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
But all right.
Good stuff.
Cool.
So.
What's next?
Next, we have the Tears of the Kingdom final trailer.
All right. This is what I've been waiting to talk about. Yeah. Because we got that awesome final trailer, like, of caliber of what the 2017 Breath of the Wild trailer. Obviously, the kind of vibes they were going for.
Not as good as the 2017 trailer, but good. It was still good.
I think I would agree. Yeah.
I didn't think it was as good. It was cool, but not as like emotional as that first one. Like, it didn't pull me in. Like, oh man, I can't wait.
It brought the hype that we needed.
For
but
sure.
It did not reach the heights of that one. Yeah.
Because this trailer actually showed the world. It showed what you're doing. It showed battles. It showed like
story.
Yeah, it And it was big, you don't have to show me much. You just have to show me that, and then I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Just a little bit.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Just a little touch of Link
Set-
riding in a
set-
minecart
Set the
through
stage,
lava.
set the stakes, get us invested. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just showing like you can put a shield on a spear. It's like, okay, that's cool. But yeah. Did you watch it, Sadish?
I believe so.
Okay.
You believe so?
Yeah, I believe so.
What kind of answer is that?
What do you?
Have you seen Hydrated Ganon? Let's put it that way.
Hi, what?
Hydrated Ganon, how he's not a zombie anymore. He's looking.
It's like
As
a
Yeah.
as the
I
internet
mean, I
says,
heard him
everyone's
talk
thirsty now.
before. I mean, did he actually was he actually? Oh, maybe I haven't seen this trailer then.
You know what? Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
That's fine. We can do that.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. I'll get a bottle of water, and Sadish can watch that trailer.
Let's just go watch
All right,
the trailer.
All right. We're back, and we've all rewatched the Zelda trailer, so we can talk about this better now. So,
Yes, it got me more in the mindset than the dude.
so who wants to kick it off?
It is Princess Mononoke as Zelda.
That's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
I know.
Which honestly, Breath of the Wild was a lot of those vibes, but this is even more so. And
Like
just-
literally, I mean, he's Zelda's arm and the
even,
corruption and everything.
Link's arm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Link's arm.
Zelda is the girl.
I get it. Yes, I know. Yeah, Link's arm and everything, and the corruption that's apparently spreading across the land, which I assume is just Ganon being reborn.
Yeah, no, I'm super curious about the backstory and kind of. I think there's gonna be a large focus on Ganon in this story and his history, which is funny. A lot of people when they see that one shot of the hair just sticking out in the moon, they're all going demise, and my first impression is going to
Demise.
that. Demise is the final villain from Skyward Sword,
Yeah.
which kind of started the whole cycle of hatred. Which I can understand why they see that impression, but I'm thinking of that mural from Breath of the Wild when they show the history of all the Guardians and Zelda and that one hero attacking.
The thing with all
Calamity
the red, yeah.
Yeah. And everyone thought that was Link or whatever, but I think there's a whole story with Ganon and that history. I'm just
So
super
okay,
curious.
so I know we're kind of going away from the actual years
But
of
yeah, back
the
to the
kingdom.
trailer.
But is the whole cycle Princess Zelda's being reborn or reincarnated, and Link is just happens to be a hero of that era, or is Link also being reborn?
So this one's supposed to be a direct sequel to the last one. So it's the same Zelda and the same Link and the same champions.
Right,
Sure.
but I'm talking about
In,
I-
the
like
general
overall?
powers of
yeah.
Zelda. There
Because
definitely
I
is,
know,
a cycle. Yeah.
I know, which one? Which one was the one with the moon? Was that Ocarina of Time?
Majora's Mask.
Okay, isn't that where the
That's-
whole the split happened where
Adult Link,
Like-
young Link, who lost
Yeah,
to Ganon, who
Technically,
won.
the split
Yeah.
happened after Ocarina of Time. And then,
Right.
yeah.
so the Wind Waker is actually following the path of Link actually losing to Ganon and the world being destroyed and whatnot.
I
And
think that's right.
yeah,
Or
So
no,
is-
no, I don't think it's him losing the Ganon in that timeline, but like he gets sent back in time, and that's why the hero's not present in that timeline. So, if that makes sense, yeah.
So, but is that a thing? Is that so? Zelda, is she just being reborn? Is she just like?
There's not really enough like.
There's not enough lore that's like
information in terms of this where we currently are in the timeline to say.
Okay.
Because they decided to just like, you know what, F this timeline, we're jumping hundreds of years in the future and it all converges again and you can make your own inferences. So
because from what I understand in that case, then Ganon is always there. The Ganon is the same Ganon that's always been. And it's like Zelda and Link who always changes.
So yeah, like, because if it's mummified corpse, he's obviously like a really old or like has some history older than, yeah. There's something going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very curious. It's just intrigues me. Ever since they showed that first tease of like the Mummy Ganon, I just wanted to know more.
Yeah. That was like
and now seeing, yeah.
That was like the best trailer until this trailer came out, which was kind of crazy. That was the first trailer.
If Ganon was mummified in Breath of the Wild, then who was the main antagonist in that game then?
It was Calamity Ganon.
Yeah, Calamity Ganon. We didn't know about mummified anything.
Who's Calamity Ganon?
That was more of just like spirits. It was kind of like, it was just kind of like ghosts that took over everything, I guess.
Kind of like his hatred manifested or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like evil entities going around, but it was still like Ganon. But yeah, this one's actually like Ganon. This one's real Ganon. So
and I'm just super interested in his character, and like that one time he speaks in this new trailer, just like don't miss the birth of a new king, and just like he sounds like so confident and like like you're going down.
Yeah. it's gonna be fun for sure. I actually pulled up the timeline. I'm looking at it. I haven't looked at a Zelda timeline in so long. It's ridiculous. It's insane, like what they've done with this thing.
It does get pretty crazy.
But yeah.
But besides the story, like the gameplay just looks really crazy and interesting. Like I don't know. Having replayed Breath of the Wild, I'm looking at this trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun and new and interesting still.
So my first impression of watching a lot of the playthroughs and stuff was, excuse me, was sorry. All the sky platforming looked like it's gonna be very like frustrating and annoying. However, today with the previews coming out, they dropped the hint that you can put something down, the heroes something, and it'll resurrect you back to the starting point of wherever you drop it.
Basically, you can create your own checkpoints.
Which is cool, which is like, for something like that, that's going to be like, crucial for like, because it looks like getting to some of these islands looks like it might be a pain in the ass, and that's kind of like the game, like that's going to be your shrine quest, is like getting to these islands. And I have a feeling it's going to be like I hope it's not like frustratingly annoying. Like
I'm sure there'll be a good balance and like variety of ways you can approach these kind of, but it intrigues me just because it seems very like navigationally puzzly, which I like things kind of trying to figure out. Because a lot of the stuff in Breath of the Wild, you could kind of eventually just cheese once you use stamina so high. Like, I'm just going to climb the mountain and just...
and that's the thing, too. I think it's kind of weird. Is like, there's just all this, like, electronic stuff everywhere. Like, here's some fans, and you have battery power now. And
new vehicle heavy, but...
Because it just seems like it's too, like, shoehorned in. Like, here you go. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all of that stuff, all the like fusing to make vehicles. And
did you see the one power that got leaked by IGN?
The auto build?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Oh, couldn't you do that in the first game anyway? Like, you could, like, build a bike or something?
No, the bike was DLC.
That was DLC.
They
Yeah.
gave you a bike after you beat the DLC and essentially
Which
beat the
was-
game.
Yeah, you were pretty much done with the game at that point, so the bike wasn't really that. It was basically just a horse that you fed it, like, fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like I got it and I was like, well, that was pointless.
It was more fun just to play the dungeon rather than the reward. Yeah.
For sure. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, I was definitely excited to see like that scene of the lava minecart battle that they showed.
A lot of like interior shots, which is
That
nice.
makes you think that there's like a dungeon going on there, like, or some sort of like fortress, and like the things come, like that big thing comes out of the desert, and like, and then like all the little like hole caves that open up, and it's like we don't know what's going on there. And I mean, we know that Zelda falls into a pit. We know that when they found Mummy Ganon, they were like down in a dungeon or in a pit or something in that initial trailer. So there's definitely something going on subterranean here that
And I think if there are time shenanigans, which I'm kind of leaning towards, I mean that just doubles the world all of a sudden. Like,
yeah, parallel.
and the reason I
worlds.
think that you see a lot of the shots with Zelda, like looking out, like saying "Find me, Link," and there are like no sky islands in her line of sight, but
Mhm.
it's just like it seems almost like a parallel kind of world or something.
I wonder if it's gonna have some sort of like tie to like the original, like to Breath of the Wild or something. Like it's gonna have some sort of like, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what to think about that stuff, like, because I'm not smart enough to to come up with storylines like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but I'm excited, man. I really want to play it. I'm glad that there's, you know, people starting to play it now. But at the same time, I don't want spoilers. Obviously, like at this point,
I
like
kind of stopped watching the previews after a certain point because I was like, "Oh, you're just telling me exactly what you did next. I just want impressions.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
tell
yeah.
me-
I
I don't need to play by play. I'll play."
That's why
I'll play.
I just watched the the one from IGN with Brian Altano and
Yeah, his was good. I like he just was giving vibes, and that's all I want right
yeah,
now.
and he said that like it seemed to play smooth, which was great to hear, and said that it looked good, and like
I liked his Wind Waker comparison he gave out of
Yeah.
small islands, and I'm just like, yeah, that was awesome in Wind Waker.
yeah,
Just exploring little bite-sized little
Uh-huh.
puzzles.
yeah. So yeah, it's definitely cool, like to know, and I'm glad I watched because like that was one of my biggest concerns was like I'm gonna fall off this platform that I wasted all this time to get up here. And so I'm glad to hear that there is some sort of mechanic. I don't know how we're gonna get it. That's what I'm curious about too. Is like we don't.
Hopefully early on.
I'm guessing we don't have the Sheikah Slate anymore, but we're gonna have these abilities, and I want to know how we get these abilities. I just want to know the story. I just want to know how it all unfolds from the beginning.
I
How's
bet
it
you
start?
once they've determined they're having skylines and you're falling, that's why they made the recall ability, because they're like, oh, undo. We're gonna need lots of undo powers.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would just suck. Like you use all that stamina and like you have to climb here, go there, and then like jump over, get up there, and then you like jump twice and fall, and it's like, no, I'm not doing this again. I'm done. And then like you frustrate people to the point where they're like, I'm not playing this anymore. So- but
Yeah. One thing I did see in the previews that kind of turned me off. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a big deal, but like getting vehicle parts in this like giant capsule ball machine, I'm just like, ugh.
yeah, I saw that too, and that seemed like, why are there gotcha machines and
No,
like.
what is this? I don't like this. This seems
Yeah.
out of place.
Yeah, that does seem, and that's what I was getting at with like all the electronic stuff and like a battery icon for your like ships and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it fits, but I guess at the same time, I mean, it's all fantasy and ancient technology and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense, but
It had those like robots and Skyward Sword and other things like, yeah, a little bit technology influences throughout the Zelda games.
yeah, it's just weird. Like, I don't know. I hope you don't have to like do a ton of that kind of stuff. I hope it's just kind of there as like
Occasionally, sure, but I'm hoping there's enough multiple solutions that I don't have to rely on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling there's gonna be something where it's like build something and then you have to race somebody else's and stuff like that. Like I could see something like that being
or that one moment in the trailer when they're like doing like an escort mission with the wagon and the horse, like getting the villagers out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope if it does exist, like majority of it's like just side quests to do stuff or to get like, you know, whatever the power ups are gonna be in this. And I'm really curious to see like how much stamina you start with and hearts and how that's all gonna play out. Because it's kind of like it's just, you know, how are they gonna you know, level you down? It's like it's a sequel. I should have 28 hearts. I should have 30 hearts.
My guess is he gets injured grievously.
Yeah, that demise just infects him, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, something. So we'll see. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that it's like 14 days away as of like right now, which is kind of nuts.
By the time I probably finish editing this podcast and post it, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, game of the year incoming, right? Guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Next podcast will definitely that'll be the only game we're playing. So
I mean, unless Final Fantasy releases, that could also be up there with game of the year territory.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I watched that State of Play recently, and it definitely could, but it also seems super ambitious. I don't know if it will.
Well, Remake was super ambitious. Everyone was like, what are they gonna do to it?
Yeah,
when
but
I say the word
like...
ambitious, I mean like they're trying so many different gameplay styles. I don't know.
Remake though was like the most anticipated thing ever. Like, yeah, you're taking like
perfect.
Yeah.
No, not only that, but like everybody was like, they're only doing it up until like
how they
the Shinra part. Like everybody was like, even me. I was like, what are they gonna do? And then they were like, oh, they're just gonna be.
They stretched it like 40 hours for like the opening scene of the game.
I think I played it for like close to 100, more than 100, maybe even.
Yeah,
but
I think it was like 70 for me.
But like, yeah, I mean, they did an excellent job. Like they really like fleshed it out, like the storylines that were maybe like the whole thing with Eris and everything. Oh, like they really like. I feel like they really like drew it out and definitely added story. But it wasn't just like whatever story to fill in.
Story of character building.
Yeah. It made sense. You know, it definitely like, you know. What do you call it? It really filled out everybody's characters.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and just make you like feel in that world. Like,
yeah.
So, I really should finish that game. Oops.
And with the with the revelation of what exactly this game is, and in the continuity of everything, it's just like, wow.
It's enticing.
Yeah. And like, yeah. And now that you know, and anyway, whatever.
Yeah. But I guess let me just jump ahead real quick to Final Fantasy 16. State of, just since I think I'm the only one that watched it, but because it was like 20 minutes or something. But and when I was saying ambitious, like I was watching that 20-minute showcase, and it just like jumped from like gameplay style to gameplay style to gameplay style. I'm like, what is this game? It's like all of a sudden it's like a fighting game with like titans fighting each other, and then all of a sudden it looks like a Panzer Dragoon like flying around shooting stuff like Star Fox style, and then it's like Bayonetta going up the Titan, and I'm like, it's just like so many genres. It all looks super pretty, but I'm just like, is it all gonna hit? I don't know, because it was clearly like cutting to like the best looking moments of like didn't want to show you any lag or in between like.
But I think for me, this is the first Final Fantasy game that I've been. Oh, hold on. First Final Fantasy game other than Remake, and Rebirth that I've been excited about after playing 10. Not 10. Was it 10? Yes. No, not 10. 13. Yes.
With lightning.
Yeah, with lightning.
Okay.
So like, because like the one prior to this, I was like really like questioning its fighting mechanic, and just like the general like, here's a bunch of dudes riding around in a car, kind of aesthetic.
Bunch of bros.
Yeah, man.
I'm still not sure if I'm like intrigued by these characters yet, but they're definitely better than the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like they're going back to the more fantasy world of it. Yeah. So we'll see.
I want more wacky characters. That's why I love Final Fantasy VII so much. It's just like such a diverse cast. It's so good.
It's for me. I don't consider them wacky at all. They've normalized for me.
Yeah, they're not like wacky, but like just very diverse, just very different. Like every character stands apart and just.
You're right. The diversity in Final Fantasy VII is definitely a lot more than recent Final Fantasy games. And I mean, I wasn't really gonna talk about the whole diversity thing because people have been like, talking about the new Final Fantasy game not being diverse. How it's just all like,
I didn't.
Yeah, I remember
all
hearing about
white
that.
guys.
Yeah.
Or just everybody's just like white. And I don't know.
You want
I
fun
wasn't even
characters. You
I
gotta.
wasn't even talking about like racially. I was just like interesting, unique characters. I
Like
don't know.
Chrono Trigger, Frog, a robot,
Yeah.
just like crazy.
Cave girl and a
Yeah.
technician and
Yeah.
a freaking dark wizard and just,
Princess
like, yeah.
and like a princess who's
think
like
about it.
badass. Like yeah.
Final Fantasy VII had what, like,
A
yeah,
man
you
with
had
a
your
machine
Cloud.
gun and a giant sword and
Yeah.
Yeah.
boxing tough chick with a fire red dog and like yeah.
Red 13 and Barret with his freaking gun arm, and you had
Yeah.
Yuffie who's a ninja, and well,
And then a giant stuffed animal who wasn't even like the character but was being controlled by
Yeah.
someone else.
and
you're just like,
don't
what?
even get started on the vampire.
Oh,
Freaking
yeah.
Vincent, man, Vincent was bad.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, diverse characters. That is what I missed on.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it still looks cool. It looks pretty. So I'm it's definitely one I'm keeping an eye on. But yeah.
Cool.
All right. Other news stories that we skipped that we're gonna touch on.
We had the Indie World Showcase. Really, the only thing came out of that was the Rift of the Necrodancer, which you picked up in Fantasy. Then you dropped Animal Well because that's getting released next year.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, I guess you also put on here Blasphemous 2 and
I know
Oxenfree
people
2.
mentioned those as being excited. I don't really have any personal affinity. But
Blasphemous 2 looked kind of
interesting.
like the Hollow Knight that we're not
Castlevania.
getting. I was like, there's the Hollow Knight trailer that we didn't get. Because yeah, it did. It looked like it had a the 2D Metroidvania style vibe to it from the trailer.
Yeah.
So, I guess the last little release thing was some new games to Nintendo Switch Online, Pokemon Stadium, Kid Chameleon, bunch of Genesis stuff, Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition. That was the only reason I got a Genesis as a kid. I wanted that game so much. Still haven't played any. I haven't played any of that stuff on my Switch. I haven't. My Switch, you know where my Switch is right now? It's on top of the refrigerator because I had to take it away from the kids. So that's where it's at right now. The battery's probably dead at this point. But Brody's been playing some Mario Kart on it, so.
I guess he's been good again.
Yeah. No, well, not like that's why it was upstairs to begin with. So, but he's been getting his Mario. It's funny because he goes around humming music all the time, and he's like, "Daddy, what am I humming?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "It's Mario Kart." And I listen, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it is." Because he'll be going around going like, do 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 do, and I'm like, "What are you?" And then he's like, "It's Mario Kart." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that is. That's that one song." He was playing
play that game with him. I want to guess the game.
He was playing new. He was playing the new courses. He was like, "Daddy, there's a new track, and I got these new carts, and there's new because you got the new characters and stuff." So he was all excited about that. That there was new stuff popping up when he was racing. So
hope we can get some more tracks soon.
Yeah. But yeah, he hasn't played a lot. But all right, let's wrap this up with some rumors.
Yes.
Go on.
We gotta talk about Switch 2. Always, forever. It's coming, and this is. I feel like we have more evidence than ever lining up why it might be coming within the next year. Okay.
I hope so, man, because I wanted that OLED Zelda Switch so bad, but I just can't justify it.
Anyone who was on the fence, like, should I get this? I'm like, hold on, just a few more months. I bet Nintendo's gonna make an announcement probably by like June or July, maybe August or September at the latest.
Maybe next year.
It's coming. This holiday or next year. But first off, this is like the first time in Nintendo's history in a long time that we just don't know what is coming, like in the foreseeable future. It's like pitch black in the future, in the crystal ball. Like all we know up to is August Pikmin, and then just
that's
nothing.
July.
Is that July?
It's July. It's the end of July, but yeah, it's July.
Ooh. Okay, see? Yeah. even more to my point. And the fact that they have like overloaded this first half of the year. Like they shadow dropped Metroid Prime because why? I don't know. And then even though they had like Kirby coming out that month, and then Bayonetta, and then Advance Wars, now Zelda, and then Pikmin's coming, and like that's a pretty strong like first 6 months, I'd say. That's enough variety. And then, like, what do you have after that? Why have you not spaced this out more? It's like they're trying to offload this for something in the future. 2, no E3 presence, although it's dead, but they pulled out before it was dead, and why would they do that? Like,
yeah,
unless they had nothing.
No games to showcase, but...
Yeah. I think they are just trying to get their timing to show something else when they're ready, and I think it might be this hardware. 3, there was a leak recently for Pokemon, who the leaker correctly predicted the Scarlet and Violet DLC details, like really specific details about it, and the release windows and everything. And the leak also mentioned new Switch model to accompany the game's graphic enhancement patch for the DLC, which is supposed to launch in winter. So that is very curious if that is further evidence for this. And then the last thing I'll mention, this game called Dune Awakening had some job listings. Before it was called Dune Awakening, it was just like an unnamed Dune project in 2019. The job listings for that project mentioned platforms for like Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Now that this project has a name and more recent job listings have been posted, it cites platforms for PC, PS5, Xbox Series 1, and TBA. Doesn't even mention Switch anymore, but a TBA.
Yeah.
So, I think there's something to that. I don't know, and it seems very imminent.
Yeah,
you combine all these factors together.
Well, and the fact that the console's on, like, its, 7th year now? sixth year, seventh year. So it makes sense. I mean, because it's a it's essentially a phone. You think about it, and typically the lifespan of mobile devices doesn't last that long. Granted, the 3DS lasted forever, but they also did multiple iterations. I mean, not to say that they didn't do the same with this, but
yeah, it's hard to say since this is like new territory in terms of like console handheld.
yeah, it'll be interesting to
ecosystem.
see what they do. Like, I don't see them, like, if Nintendo moved away, I don't see them ever moving back to a strict console and a strict handheld separate. Like, I don't see that happening again.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. I don't see, because, like, I think that the biggest success with the Switch is the fact that it's handheld as well. Like, if it was just a console and there was no handheld anymore, I don't know if it would still do as well as it does.
it's true.
Like-
I don't think a console would ever be able to compete with its handheld empire. Like,
Yeah.
historically, the handhelds have always been the most successful consoles, with the exception of the Wii.
Yeah. So,
The interesting part, though, is like back when Nintendo had two empires, so to speak, like console and handhelds, they still sold like well, even though they were like
competing against each other. Yeah.
yeah, like any profits sold by one is just like icing on the cake for the other. It's just adding more sales to another system that you're also selling at the same time.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what they do if we do just get a Switch, a reamp Switch with more power, or if we get, something dedicated again.
Mhm.
Like, I don't see them, like, I don't know how you could look at the Switch and be like, we're moving away from this, but Nintendo never seems to do the obvious when it comes to things, so it's like
it is really hard to imagine, like, what would they do next? Is it simply just going to be more powerful, or would they have some new idea? Like,
it
part
has
of me
2 screens
want-
now.
I kind of want the 2-screen experience back.
2 screens are cool. It was just the only, like, it's hard for me to go back to the 3DS now, but
But if it was like a nice big screen like that, or
yeah,
like it could fold open, or like imagine you can play it handheld 2 screens, and then when you want to play in TV mode,
you just
you
put it.
dock it, like dock the second screen or something, and then you could have the TV and your one screen.
Yeah, if they could do something like that, like if they could do something where like wirelessly you can transmit to the TV,
Mm-hmm.
so you can use it as a secondary
I miss
screen,
that
so you can do.
secondary like inventory.
Then
management.
they'll port Wind Waker to Switch, and then you can have your
That's what they've
inventory.
been waiting for. You know, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Like, why haven't they done that yet? Maybe they love that feature and wanted
and
it
they can
back.
make their own flip grip that's official for the new one. That way you turn it vertical, and then you get your 2 DS screens, and then that's how you can do your DS handheld on NSO. That's how you can do it. But I don't know. It's all wishful thinking, and that's not rumored
I
anyway.
think I know, but I do feel like the Wii U was underutilized. Like, it
Oh, for
never
sure.
met its full potential. Unlike the DS and the 3DS, which was awesome, and I feel like they really wanted that experience to translate, and I bet you they're still tinkering with it.
Yeah, it'll be
That would
interesting
my
to see.
best prediction.
I definitely like. I as much as it like, I feel like Nintendo hit the perfect platform with the Switch. Like, and that's what I've just kept saying.
Yeah.
Like, I've been saying the last 5-10 minutes with like console handheld, it's great, but at the same time, like, as much as I love it, you kind of don't want it to be like, like an iPhone, where it's like
Mhm.
the first one was cool, the second one was cool, the third one was okay, the fourth one, and then it's just like you get bored of it, like I haven't upgraded this phone in 4 years because
Yeah,
'cause
I don't think Nintendo ever wants to get on the mindset of like
iterations, like just like
iterations like Xbox and Sony. Just tiny changes. It's just never been their style. They always
Yeah.
like to surprise you.
I think it makes sense, but I think that if it becomes that, we lose a little bit of that system charm. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
I agree because there's something to be said about consistency, where it's
well,
less
'cause
like
consistency gives you like that's how Xbox and PlayStation are able to have such a great online infrastructure, and you can move
Not only
your
that,
games between everything. Like, and it's just it's
There's also,
static.
like,
It's
there's
good.
also like a lower like like lower knowledge required for entry kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah,
like
it's
Like,
relearn the system.
you've always like, just because it's been around for so long, you've had some sort of interaction with this sort of controller, and you just like have learned innately, you know, what the buttons, you know, how to just use it.
Yeah.
So I mean, sure, I mean, you can just learn it again, just like, you know, when you go from game to game, you have to like relearn what the buttons do. But yeah, I think the consistency of the games of the consoles really does. It's something, you know what I mean? It's something that adds to it. Constantly changing just for the sake of change is never a good thing. That's what I think. But
Yeah.
like,
And that's just like that's because that's what Nintendo's always done.
Well,
I mean, but it's just interesting to see what's gonna happen from
it's
it.
not a bad thing either, though. It's like
No,
as a
'cause
it's a risk.
It's a risk, but it's also like that's what kind of keeps the innovation going, though, in the
Sometimes,
industry.
yeah,
You
know,
need it. Because otherwise, you just get stuck in this void of like, you know, just playing on your couch with, you know, a 10-button controller and 2 analog sticks, and it's like, all right, is this it? Is this the peak of gaming? And then, like, you know, who's gonna change it up? And then it's like, oh, now I can play these same games handheld. Oh, now I can use this little controller and play with somebody else. Like, it was just so many little innovations came out with something so simple that like wasn't done before, and Nintendo is gonna be the one that does it, and they're gonna be the one that does it again, like when we don't expect it. but part of me is like, don't change it too drastically at the moment, because like I like the Switch. The only thing I want you to do is just more like a little more power, and just give me some flair in the OS. Give me some flair in the OS. Let me
If this
have
is
a
going to be
theme.
like a iterative waiting like step until the next big thing comes, or is this the next big thing? It just depends what this next one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
feel like-
The day it dies is when Nintendo starts talking about how many flops it has.
flops?
Flops.
That's how you boast. Flops and ray tracing and
Teraflops.
Teraflops. That's what you're talking about. But I think for the more like stable consoles like Xbox and PlayStation, they're definitely going more towards like the
They're just PCs at this point.
right, and
which is
they're
fine.
going more for the VR or the AR aspect of it, just for
Excuse me.
you know. I feel like that's just the next step. That because what you want to do with video games is make them more interactive.
I don't know if VR is ever going to be.
VR's awesome, but
It's
it
cool.
lacks that like. I mean, I guess it depends, because like the gaming has changed so much as far as like us right now. We're not with each other, and we can still play in we could be playing in a VR game or chatting in a VR system right now, and it would be fun and we'd have a great time. But if you guys were over at my house and I had my VR headset on, you guys would be like, "This is lame. What are we doing?"
Well, I think that's
It's
the
just,
difference.
you lose that social like aspect, but I guess like the world's kind of gaming's moved that because of like multiplayer
Right.
too, like the same sort of stuff. Like the couch
now-
co-op isn't much of a thing anymore.
No, now it's even like considered like couch co-op is a hindrance. It's like, why are we doing couch co-op when we could just have like online multiplayer? I could be
I
on
hope
my.
that's not a generational thing. Like that makes me sad.
Yeah.
So, what do you mean it's not a generational thing?
I hope it's not a generational thing. Like.
I mean, I still.
Just new generation just thinks of couch co-op as like an outdated, ugly thing. Like no.
No, I mean I don't. You know me. For me, like once the new system or once the new game comes out, then I don't care about what happened before. But I enjoy couch co-op. But there are times when it's like, why can't this just be online multiplayer? It doesn't make any sense for it not to be. But yeah, so it's just like the option is there, and I feel like if a game doesn't utilize it, it's somewhat of a hindrance to it. Like if the game that does couch co-op also has the option of online co-op, then that's amazing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like.
I just got a disk space alert. I had to clean up 10 gigs of space.
like fighting games will always be both couch co-op and online co-op, I believe. Unless fighting games have only switched to online, I'm not exactly sure. I don't see any point for it to only do that, but like, yeah, like those games make sense.
Yeah.
But something more like adventure games or whatnot, or puzzle games, it makes sense for it to have online co-op.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's just one of those things that's like kind of.
I just also think like VR also has that obstacle of like barrier of entry. I don't think that they're just people that can't handle that. Like I don't think it's ever gonna be.
But
forever.
it's changing. I mean, even in the latest generation, they've become more user friendly and more,
People are
mean, like from like motion sickness and
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Stuff.
People are still gonna get sick from it. Like I don't know like how.
People are going to get sick anyway. I mean, like I said, I get sick from just playing regular like games.
I guess you guys said Half-Life made you sick, right?
Right. And
there are a handful of first-person games depending on,
I guess that's true
the
too. Like
sensitivity or something.
Like
something
Talos Principle made me feel kind of
Yeah.
nauseous, and so did Stanley Parable made me feel kind of like the field of view is off or something. I don't know.
Something's off. Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's just always going to happen, whether it's in VR or just regular, staring at a screen.
But I think the biggest thing is just it's that sharing the experience with somebody else is like everybody has to have their own to get that experience, and I think that's something that kind of takes away, at least from me being like an older gamer. It kind of, I like being able to show my friend, oh dude, come here, check this out, and then it's like, cool, look, and it's like, okay, that's cool,
Yeah.
but no, now you have to do it, and then I just stand there like, yeah, that's cool, isn't it? But it's not the same as like,
But for me,
it's not the same as me and you
experience.
both doing it together, like, know, like sitting on the couch, like watching a giant demon drop down from the sky with his massive dong out on the screen.
But, I mean, to me, that's the same
Demon
thing
Throttle's
as playing like a single player game and like handing it off to your friend to keep playing it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just because I don't know. It's just a different thing.
Because it isn't as if you can't partake in the experience. You can still like output the video of what the person is seeing to a screen.
But what the person sees is just, it's just like, it's not the same though. Because what that person sees, you're watching it in 2D, where he's seeing it as he's immersed in it.
No,
Like,
I get
that's
that.
what's
I
like.
understand that, but it's also like a shared experience. You may not fully understand it, but when it's your turn, you can be like, "Oh, this is what I'm seeing," and the person that just played it could be,
Depends on the game.
Yeah.
Because like, there's that game. What is it like? Keep talking or everybody explodes or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it where like somebody's in VR and everyone else is telling them, and you've got to like start defusing a bomb and stuff? Like, that sounds cool. I really want to play that. That sounds like it'd be a good party game. we could take turns.
That game's like design takes into account of like people having different perspectives
Experiences and perspectives.
That's
Yeah.
that's why I've always enjoyed those kind of like asynchronous kind of games where one person is always experiencing something far different from the rest of the group.
Wii U, untapped potential. They should have had more asymmetric games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why those games like Dead by Daylight and those other ones, I forget what they're called. They're so popular. It's literally just hide and seek. But it's just the fact that, just one person is having this different experience.
And that's why there's going to be Switch 2 for 2 screens and using your second screen to do...
Switch squared? Switch 2? Is that what it is?
Switch cubed. Tiny little GameCube reference. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, we'll see, man. I would be pleasantly surprised if they do announce another Switch. I mean, it makes sense too, especially since like the OLED was kind of rumored to be the new upgrade with the chip shortage, and now that the chip shortage is like they say it's over, I don't know. Like I've heard there's been like better production for stuff, but you still can't get a Raspberry Pi anywhere for like retail. So I don't know. But like graphics cards are available now these days and stuff like that. Prices have come down a lot. Crypto died, so it's kind of a good thing in that aspect. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe that'll come out before I decide to buy like a Steam Deck or something. I think I'm done with buying a new console this year until a Switch 2 gets announced. Or whatever the next console is going to be called.
Smart.
So, yeah. But I guess that'll wrap up our short 2-hour podcast. And
lots of tangents this time.
Yeah, we'll be back for episode 32, where we get to do nothing but talk about our amazing experiences, hopefully, with Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
And
Well, here's the big question. If they announce a new Switch, Satish, would you buy it?
No.
Instant no. Not even a maybe. Instant no. What's the hate? Let hold on.
There is no hate.
Let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sit down on the chase. We're gonna have a discussion.
There's no hate.
Where did Nintendo touch you? Why?
Yeah, why? What entices you to buy a PS5 and not like ever a Nintendo console?
Because I didn't grow up with it like you guys.
But you want to play Nintendo games, right?
If the Switch appeared in front of me, would I play it? Huh. I think it's just like I can only handle 2 things kind of deal, I think, for me. So so it's just like, yeah, I think it's just the game. It's a whole more games to play, and it's just like I'd rather not deal with it, kind of thing. If I didn't have a PlayStation and I had a Switch, yeah, I'd continue playing the Switch. But you know what? No, I'd still get a PlayStation. It's just the games. I prefer the games on the PlayStation over the Switch. Sure, there are certain games on the Switch that I wouldn't mind playing, if I had the opportunity to do so. But
you
do a little back and forth, you know?
But you take yourself...
Horizon's out, I'm gonna play Horizon, I'm done with that. Now I'm gonna play a little, like, Luigi's Mansion over here.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's
man. A quiet moment here. You can play this.
That's what I do.
You go over here.
Like, yeah, I grew up with my Switch. I grew up with Nintendo, but like, yeah, like if something comes out on a console I want to play,
it's like rocking the calendar every single month. Like, there's gonna be quiet months, and that's when you jump back and forth.
I think that's the thing with me is like, for me, I'm always I have a game to play.
Yeah, and I guess that, like, I mean, I do too. I've got thousands of games to play.
Yeah, but the difference between you guys and me is that like I'm always like I'm playing a single game for like a very long time.
Well, that's
And
what
then I have another game,
Yeah.
you know, right afterwards to play.
If I start
Oh.
a game, providing I don't get bored with it right away, or like if I play a game and it grabs me in, I'll play it. That's the only game I'm gonna play until I'm done. I don't do the multiple jumping between games. I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
But like, yeah, like if I'm gonna sit down and beat a game, I'm gonna sit down and beat a game. As long as it has grabbed my interest. Unless it gets to a point where I'm just like, game, I'm done. which has happened. But like, but yeah, I mean, even those games, like Mario Sunshine, I was like, I hate the game. I'm finally gonna beat it. Finally beat it, and I was like, and then like I put it down, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get all the blue coins now. And then I kept going back to it, but like just because it sucked me in. But yeah, it's definitely like, I don't know. Like I feel like having a PlayStation and having a Switch, which is basically what I have now because I didn't get a new Xbox. I mean, you have the PC. If I actually want to use, I think it's the best of both worlds in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
like I played God of War on my PS5, never touched my Switch, and I really didn't touch my Switch until Metroid. Honestly, like what came out last year on Switch that I played? I don't even remember. I don't know if I played anything on Switch. Did I? I bought a few things on Switch. Demon Throttle with you. We played Demon Throttle, but like
I played Kirby, but you didn't get that one.
I didn't get Kirby. Yeah, I don't think I played anything on Switch last year that I can remember
I played
offhand.
a lot of Doggone Rampa, but that's a whole different beast.
Yeah, man, I don't think I played anything on Switch last year.
Yeah, because last year was my summer of Game Pass, so that definitely ate up 3 months on the PC.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a ton of like I played a ton of games last year. I beat like what, 30 games or something like that. 20 something
you played,
games.
Live.
Live Alive. Yeah, I did play Live Alive. So yeah, so that was like my Switch exclusive. I played that and then played it for like 15, 20 hours. Basically rolled the credits and then I was like, all right, on to the next game. And then that's around probably when I started God of War, was after that.
I guess you can count Metroid Prime on your beat list if you want.
Yeah, I gotta
'Cause
beat it.
I technically put Live Alive on my
Wasn't
list.
last
but I never...
year Metroid Dread?
No, that was 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah, Dread was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that came out right when we moved into this house, and I remember playing it upstairs as the rest of the house was being all torn apart. So, but yeah, that's it. Well,
So we didn't quite figure out the psyche of the dish, but that's okay.
yeah, it's okay.
It
One
could
day.
just be like we're back to, you know, my frugalness. I just don't want to pay for
That
it.
is true too.
An
That's
extra
probably
game.
the real answer.
And then because you don't like old games, quote unquote, you won't go back and like buy a Switch when they're like $100. You won't get one.
Yeah, I
It's
don't see
old
the
at
point.
that point.
That's a shame. You're missing out on so many good games
So many
just
good
because of stubbornness. It makes me sad.
It has nothing to do with stubborn. I'm not stubborn about not wanting to play it. I just don't find them entertaining anymore. Like I love
But you
Metal Gear
never-
Solid and like all those old games, you know, on the PS1 or Final Fantasy even 7 even. Like I love those games. Oh, they hold such a dear place in my heart. But no way I'm gonna play them again. I tried playing them. I stopped playing them after like 20 minutes.
I get
Because-
that. I
I
completely
enjoyed
get
playing
that.
Final Fantasy VII original actually. That was pretty good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't care.
I mean, remake is definitely
I have
better.
experienced better graphics and better gameplay. In you know, in my own way of seeing it. So it's just that's just how I am.
Well, you are wrong.
That's
and
fine.
I'm like, I love it. But
I mean,
no.
one thing I do, but
there's
things
like,
I do enjoy,
but do you
repeating
ever, but do you ever think about like some of these lists that we talk about, like the top games ever made?
This
with
is all
like,
coming down to Chrono Trigger, isn't
It
it?
is.
It is, isn't it?
but seriously though, like how does that, especially since you like RPGs, you like grinding, you like these kind of games, like I don't get how like you haven't just been like, all right, I gotta try Chrono Trigger. Like, let me get it on Steam or get it here, get it there.
If they make Chrono Trigger remake,
No.
then I will play it.
But that's the thing, because you shouldn't play the remake unless you played the original.
Who says?
The original is better than a large majority of games released today. It was that ahead of its time. Like, don't think of it as old. Just think of it a game that came from the future that somehow released in like the 90s, and it's like,
Dude,
how did this happen?
It's so good. Like, that's why you should like. It
comes from an era when like developers were near the end of a console cycle and like perfected the craft and wanted to do like everything and to make it this like work of art.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. And honestly, I was Chrono Trigger was in that list, but I was thinking of like I'm thinking about Nintendo games that you haven't played, games that were on a Nintendo console, but like, I'm very fond of the Super Nintendo era, but like, not even a like Nintendo game, but like Mega Man X, Link to the Past, Super Metroid. Like, these are some of the greatest games like created that like that inspired so many games that you play today, and like that just doesn't interest you at all. Blows my mind. like I don't know, because like I look at these lists sometimes and like, for the most part, I mean, there's games, I'm sure there's games that I haven't played that I should, but even like last year or the year before, I played Symphony of the Night, and it was a game that I'd heard for years, like, oh, you gotta play Symphony of the Night, you gotta play Symphony of the Night. Started playing it, didn't like it, thought it was kind of dated, didn't feel right, but then like as I played it, I was like, no, this game's really fun, this game is really good, I really enjoy this game. But it was like something that like, my first experience trying it was on a PS1 and it sucked. I hated it. But then buying the re-release of it on, digitally or whatever, was like, it ran so much better than originally, but it was like still the same game. It wasn't like a remaster, anything like that. But no, I don't know. Think about that, Sidish. You should think about it. You should seriously consider it. Look at some of these games, see what some of your favorite games were inspired by, and go play some of these classic masterpieces. That's all I ask.
This is why VR doesn't work for interventions. We can't hold him locked in a room. He can hop off here anytime he wants.
Anyway. So, alright, well, that was like a 20-minute outro trying to convince Sidish to buy a Switch and, play some games that he hasn't played that are amazing that he's missing out on. So, until next time, we'll see you at episode 32. Until then.
Oh, and stay tuned for betting special coming soon.
Yeah, betting specials. Woo! Gotta win. Gotta win this fantasy cup trophy. Gotta do it.
You're the only one who hasn't had their name on it yet.
Yeah, probably won't again. I'll probably screw the pooch.
You got Zelda. You got Zelda, game of the decade.
Just gonna blow it. All the points I get, I'm gonna lose from Street Fighter 6.
Wait, didn't you win last year?
No, Patrick won last year.
Don't take that away from me.
I had a good run, and then Sonic was praised at like one of the best games of the year, but got like a 72. It's like, come on, everyone loved Frontiers, and they gave me And they gave me a
Sonic
72.
Frontiers, man. That is a game that definitely
I still need
is
to
a
play it.
7,
I still need to play
but
it.
it's a 10 in my heart.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the problem.
It's a 7 in like actual like what it should be worth, but 10 in my heart.
But
10 in my
everybody
heart.
loved it. Everybody loved that game. I still need to play it. But
Yeah.
all right. Anyway, it's getting long.
Your computer's running out of space.
No, we're good now. We're good.
Okay.
That's because I downloaded a 10 gig RetroPie image, so yeah, it was. I forgot I had that on there. Delete. All right, cool. See ya.
Happy gaming, everyone.
All right.
Peace.